In an ironic turn of events, Pakistan, often associated with harboring and supporting terrorism that disrupts peace in India and Afghanistan, now grapples with a series of deadly terror attacks. Over recent months, the nation has suffered the loss of numerous lives as terror groups relentlessly target both police personnel and civilians. The recurring assaults highlight the country's apparent inability to effectively counter the menace, leading to significant losses in terms of life and property. A report. Pakistan is grappling with heightened unpredictability and insecurity due to surge in terror attacks across the country. In Quetta, Balochistan province, a recent bomb blast near Zagroon Road left 9 people, including a policeman and 3 children, injured. According to the local police, the explosion occurred when children who were picking the trash were sifting through the garbage. In a separate incident in Kech district, 5 soldiers lost their lives when terrorists targeted a security vehicle with an improvised explosive device. However, no group claimed responsibility for the attacks.
Balochistan is one of the most undergoverned states of Pakistan, which means there is a high level of, social resentment. There is also very low enforcement and consequently very high violence. So, for Balochistan to be targeted is one of the easiest things to happen. Remember, it is also a schism, a lot of schism zone, because a lot of the north is actually very heavily Pashtun. And the south is heavily Baloch. So there are schisms, social schisms out there. There is a lack of governance. There is a lack of enforcement, which makes Balochistan, the cities especially, the easiest targets in any terrorist's playbook.
The attacks were the latest incidents amid a surge in terrorist activities across the country, especially in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, since the outlawed terror group Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan ended its ceasefire with the government in November 2022. Last week, TTP targeted a police truck transporting around 25 policemen for anti-polio campaign duties in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The attack resulted in the death of 5 soldiers with dozens more injured. For decades, the Pakistani state has been waging a war against the Pakistani Taliban, a terror group that seeks to overthrow the government and establish a strict Islamic state. But despite the military's efforts, the TTP has continued to thrive, carrying out deadly attacks against civilians and security forces alike. Over the past 5 years, there has been a consistent and alarming surge in violence in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan provinces. Equally greater concern is the collective percentage of violence-related fatalities recorded in these 2 provinces, which indicates a disturbing upward trend over the last 5 years. According to Center for Research and Security Studies, together they suffered 72% of all fatalities in 2019, and this unsettling figure surged to a staggering 92% in the first 9 months of 2023. Hence, Pakistan must commit to a structural change and betterment if it now wishes not to lose any more of its personnel and civilians.
Pakistani government, they have a very narrow view of security. They keep foisting India as a strawman enemy so that it will detract from internal squabbles and things like that. Their answer to everything is to prop up India as the enemy and say this is an Indian, an Indian conspiracy. So what ends up happening is actual security, the people's security within Pakistan is zero. It has always been zero. The police is one of the most useless polices, under-policed, of course, to add to everything. Massive levels of corruption, massive levels of plunder by the elites out there, in coordination with the police, incidentally. So when you have essentially what is a sort of extractive, extortive, colonial gangster setup, where is the average security? Their entire focus is external security, zero on internal security.
The recent attacks in Quetta and Kech underscores a series of deadly incidents, prompting questions about the government's commitment to counter-terrorism and citizen protection. These attacks have raised serious questions about the Pakistani state's commitment to fighting terrorism and protecting its citizens. The people of Pakistan deserve a safer and more secure future.